lawmakers having these town hall rallies, and one of the things that come up at these town hall rallies, not surprisingly, is Obamacare and repealing and replacing it. But you name the issue, it can become pretty divisive with a lot of constituents wanting to know what's in it for them. Democratic strategist Julie Roginsky with us. We've got political analyst Amy Holmes, conservative commentator RCamposDuffy. So, Rachel, what is your take on this and how Republicans have to respond to this? Because even former Speaker John Boehner is saying over the last couple of days, repeal and replace, a lot easier said than done. And once you do that, you own it, guys. Talking about Republicans. What do you think?
Look, I think John Boehner was wrong to say that. I believe, look, my husband's a congressman, you know that. They are committed to repeal and replace. The only poll, I know you said that you mentioned in the tease that there were some polls saying that people were not, or starting to like Obamacare more. The only poll I care about happened on November 8th. That was Donald Trump voted on the promise that he would repeal and replace Obamacare. Same with the House, same with the Senate. If these congressmen think the town halls are bad right now, boy, they'll be a lot worse come August if they don't repeal and start showing movement on repeal and replace, because Republicans put them there to do exactly that.
That might very well be so, but Amy, I think one of the things that the former speaker was getting at is you got to be careful how you do this, because and I don't know if this speaks of the poll here, but that if you make things worse, or you go to a government program that's just a little smaller, but it's still a big old government program, you've got problems.
Oh, absolutely. And Republicans will not be given the benefit of the doubt. They won't be able to blame Obama for the next 8 years the way Obama blamed George Bush for handing him a mess. They have to come up with something that's really going to solve the problem. But I would tell you, when it comes to polling at Rasmussen Reports, we've actually found support for repeal and replace going down. That in November it was at 40%. Last month it's at 30%. And 56% of likely voters say what they want is to go through Obamacare and change it piece by piece. So, for example, you've heard President Trump talking about more competition across state lines. That's been a conservative policy point for many, many years, and I think it's one that the public would welcome.
Interesting. Julie, what do you think of that, piece by piece?
Well, I think it sounds to me like they're going to tweak Obamacare and keep Obamacare in place, which is exactly what I suspected was going to happen. Look, allow me to break out some Yiddish for you right now. The chutzpah of John Boehner, who presided over a House.
Chutzpah?
That presided over a House of Representatives that voted over 60 times to repeal Obamacare without any replacement in sight, knowing full well, of course, that Barack Obama was going to veto that legislation. All of a sudden now saying, whoops, we kind of played you, Republicans. We actually never intended to have repeal and replace, because it was never going to happen. I mean, for the former speaker to come out and say that basically admits that Julie, all these years he played his constituents.
That's why John Boehner was replaced.
I agree.
Julie, the one thing I do want to point out,
that's why he was replaced.
But this was the same Speaker Boehner who was very close to a budget agreement with the president. The president pulled the wool out from under him. So a chutzpah on both.
I don't know. The president pulled it out, or his own. It sounds to me like his caucus more pulled it out from underneath him. That's actually the way I remember it.
But it's chutzpah to say chutzpah. But anyway, I don't even quite know what that means. I guess it means
let's just say that none of them are schmucks.
You have the nerve.
Okay?
All right. So Rachel, let me step back and look at what Republicans do here, because I always thought this repeal and replace effort on Obamacare, Affordable Care Act. I saw what they were getting at about, it's a big unwieldy thing, but it does little to revive the economy or get the growth rate picking up like a tax cut would, or dramatic tax reform would. So I thought they were placing the cart before the horse, and that they should have done that. And if this gets to be as divisive as it looks like it could be, the Obamacare thing, they might be pushing that tax thing back a lot, and that is going to hurt them in the midterm election. What do you think?
Well, I think they can walk and chew gum at the same time. Here's the deal.
I don't
People
think they
elected
can.
them to do
you know
this.
What? I don't think they can. I don't think either party can do that.
Here's the deal. Right now, people are a little nervous, right? Because the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. You're going to see these details roll out. The Republicans are taking their time. They saw that the Democrats rolled out Obamacare very quickly, made a lot of mistakes, and that's why we have this mess. This thing's in a death spiral. There's no way around it. It has to be changed. And so the Republicans are going to take their time getting this out. They're going to get it right. They know they have one shot to do it and do it right. And a lot of this is going to be done by the Secretary of Human Services,
it's going to be done.
Health and Services,
Amy, are you?
and then the Republicans are going to do the rest through tax reform.
Well, I agree with Rachel. Obamacare is in a death spiral. We've heard, insurance CEOs saying just that very thing. So reform, it's not an option. It has to happen. But Neil, I think you know that I agree with you about tackling economic issues first, jobs, getting the economy moving. It's both. It's good for America and it's good politics. And I was very persuaded by an op-ed that John McLaughlin, Donald Trump's pollster from the campaign, wrote for National Review, when he pointed out that even Chuck Schumer, the minority leader in the Senate, Democrat here from New York, he said that it was a mistake for Democrats to do Obamacare first, that they should have tackled the economy. You know what? I would take a page out of that in terms of political advice and give it to the Republicans.
All right. Julie, final thoughts?
Four elections won on repealing Obamacare.
Julie?
I was promised a repeal and replace plan.
Right.
Better deliver. And I think a lot of Republicans probably agree with what I have to say about that.
All right. We all treat each other with dignity. But that's it. All right. In the meantime,
a lot of hot spots.
Got you off guard, didn't I? All right. The hooks for me to say that. All right. President Trump